According to Trooper Jones, the easiest way to stay safe is to buckle up, put your phone down, go the speed limit, and never drink and drive. Riders would walk up to the vehicle they believe is theirs, scan the QR code so both they and the driver can know that that's their trip, and then they can get in the car and go on their ride. And that hard work paid off, because Pamela got offers from schools like Mercer University and Columbia College, but she fell in love with Penn State Beaver the second she set foot on campus. Public school students will be required to walk through metal detectors, just like this one. Officer Addie told me that if students do decide to drink on prom night, that there are other alternatives to drinking and driving, like calling an Uber, a Lyft, or a sober driver, so they don't end up like this. Publico doesn't give you a straw unless you ask for one, but if you do, they'll give you one of these paper ones. You can just put it in your drink and sip away. A petition was started to get QR codes on Uber and Lyft cars so the rider can know they are getting into the right car. Riders would walk up to the vehicle they believe is theirs, scan the QR code so both they and the driver can know that that's their trip, and then they can get in the car and go on their ride. Sydney Ford, a former classmate of Samantha Josephson, started the petition. She now lives in Atlanta as a law student, but she still heard people talking about Josephson's kidnapping and murder. Ford did not want to go on camera, but she explained off camera how she came up with the idea. She said, "I got into a Lyft on Saturday night after the passing of Sammy was announced and felt like throwing up. I felt so much fear just thinking about what she went through when she realized she was in a car she couldn't get out of. I had 5 other people in the car with me, and I still felt like I needed to get out. The anxiety of how it could have happened to anyone, including herself, started keeping her up at night. As she tossed and turned, she came up with the idea for the QR codes. So she got out of bed and made the petition on change.org. As of 1 p.m. today, it is less than 10,000 signatures away from reaching her 75,000 goal. Some people on U of SC's campus believe it could keep people safer.
If that's what it takes to have more precautions and to just be safe, I mean, why not? You know, you can never be too safe, so.
But some believe it might just be more of a hassle because Uber and Lyft already provide the license plate number and a picture of the driver.
I just think that people need to be more thorough in terms of that, and it takes a long time to submit a QR code or things like that.
We reached out to Uber and Lyft to ask if they are considering the QR codes, but have not heard back. For Carolina News, I'm Angelica Iglesias. Don't worry, that was a staged car crash performed by a stunt driver, but hundreds of Airport High School students stood outside to watch it. Casey Police, with the help of Casey Fire Department and Lexington EMS, performed their second annual Prom Promise.
We want to show the high school seniors that are getting ready for prom, show them the impact that their community, their fellow students, their family could face if they decide to go out and drink and drive.
After the staged crash, students from Airport's drama program were set in place as prom goers. One was a drunk driver, another was caught with marijuana because of a canine, one was ejected, another was entrapped, and the last was unconscious. All of the emergency departments treated the demonstration as a real accident. Megan Brewer played the character that was entrapped in the car.
At first I was like, okay, because I was just sitting there, and then they put a sheet over me and I was like, I don't know what they're doing. And it was kind of nerve-wracking.
The student actors seemed to really be affected.
It was kind of scary because that could really happen to one of us. One of our friends could actually die from drinking and driving.
I mean, that was kind of scary though, because that was a whole lot of work. Actually seeing the cops pull up behind the car.
Yeah.
Officer Addie told me that if students do decide to drink on prom night, that there are other alternatives to drinking and driving, like calling an Uber, a Lyft, or a sober driver, so they don't end up like this. At the end of the day, Prom Promise is meant to make high schoolers think twice about drinking and driving, especially on prom night.
They're probably going to think more responsible than what their plans are. And I hope they don't drink and drive during prom.
For Carolina News, I'm Angelica Iglesias.
She's out.
Pamela Reynolds might seem like a regular high school senior, but she has something pretty special about her. And it's not the fact that she just recently signed a letter of intent to play soccer at Penn State Beaver. She has 2 prosthetic legs.
I used to kick my little prosthetic off in practice and stuff like that.
Pamela got bacterial meningitis when she was just 10 months old. Surgeons had to amputate both her legs below the knee and remove 9 of her 10 fingertips. But nevertheless, her parents put her, along with her twin sister, in co-ed soccer when they were about 5 years old, and she just fell in love with the sport. But it didn't always come so naturally to her.
Some stuff I have to try way harder just to be decent at it, while other people don't have to try that hard and be good at it. And sometimes that used to be really hard for me, but then my parents just don't feel sorry for yourself, you just have to work harder.
And that hard work paid off, because Pamela got offers from schools like Mercer University and Columbia College, but she fell in love with Penn State Beaver the second she set foot on campus. Pamela's obviously no stranger to hardship. Her mother passed away 2 years ago from pancreatic cancer, but she continues to be an inspiration to her co-ed Orangeburg Prep soccer team.
Anything you ask her to do, she's willing to do it. Any position you ask her to play, she's willing to go out and play that position and give it 100%. Everybody that's on the team should look at her and appreciate all that she does and look to her for guidance.
To this day, soccer is just something that brings Pamela happiness.
Soccer season is the time of the year that I'm most happy because it's just a sport that I love. It's pure happiness to me because I love doing it and I've been doing it since I was little.
As Pamela continues to work hard, she is someone we can all look up to for inspiration. Angelica Iglesias, Carolina News.